that um, uh, uh, violence and starvation and difficult situations people are going through in other parts of the world has to do with a U.S. foreign policy that I'm totally opposed to and would advocate to limit so that we are not intervening and doing harm. There's a difference between not doing harm, which is the duty of the U.S. government, and affirmatively doing good or doing something. Good, affirmative good from the U.S. government is owed to the U.S. people. What we do elsewhere is not primarily our responsibility and should be the responsibility of other nations. Now, there's some of these programs I would retain, some I would cut, some I would restructure, some I would leave alone. My criticism really of Elon Musk and Doge is the opposite of you. Much of this might not endure because it was not cut via rescission with congressional oversight, and it will get tied up in legal fights. I think the firing of the employees might stick, but the rest of it could all very well be coming back because they didn't do it in a way that will survive court scrutiny, which I think is a shame. And so then it was just some gimmicks. I think this Doge thing, at the end of the day, it cut some stuff, which I'm happy about, but it ended up being more of a gimmick than it needed to be, and that is on the method.
And the key thing that was lacking was thoughtfulness in any of it. Like the rollout of the emails. Tell me 5 things you did or you're getting fired. Like it was just very unthoughtful. And these people that you're affecting not only work around the world, but also live and work in America, voted for Trump to be president who gave you this position, and then you come in and they feel like they got something that they didn't vote for. Mm-hmm. So if you just think about the constituents right here and the money that's spent, like Doge didn't make a huge dent, and Elon Musk is leaving now, and the leader of Project 2025 is now taking over his position, and I think that is problematic for people who align with Trump because he said he didn't know what Project 2025 was. So people just have been in a whirlwind with the Department of Government Efficiency, and I think Bill Gates is right to criticize. Obviously, when someone criticizes you, you're absolutely right to rebut them and say go back and forth, but he's just saying you have no understanding. As somebody who donated millions and millions, I'm sure at this point hundreds of millions, to nations abroad personally, like you had said, go around to taxpayers and see if they'll give their own money. Well, Bill Gates puts his money where his mouth is. He does give money,
and I'm grateful to him for that. I think
Elon Musk should do more of it if he wants to cut it out of our government and allow people to be in these dire circumstances. He can afford to help out maybe where he wanted to cut if he thinks it's that big of a deal. That's how he can be in moral good standing with the rest of the world that thinks this is an important thing to keep.
I think Elon Musk has done a lot for the betterment of mankind in a very specific and abstract sense. Not just
very abstract.
Well, not just. I don't think space travel is abstract. I don't think green technology. Democrats loved green technology 5 seconds ago.
Wait, so when Gail King went to space, that was a great thing for you. You applauded that whole thing. Katy Perry, you loved that. You thought that was brilliant for the next steps in our country. No, I want to make sure you can't. You can't pick and choose. You said space travel. This is really important. So I want to make sure that you're consistent.
I am very in favor of space travel. I think becoming a multi-planetary species is a pivotal goal for humanity, and Elon Musk is the individual most likely to achieve that. And so yes, I support the space stuff, as we put it. And again, the green technology is a very good thing. Look, I don't know that Elon Musk venturing into politics was the best use of his time, frankly. Like, again, I say the same thing about social media. I support many of the changes he's made to Twitter, to X. I am very grateful to that he accomplished all this transparency to show how the moderation was at the behest of the federal government for very, very bad reasons previously. Do I think it's the best use of his time personally intervening on social media to do moderation decisions? Of course not. Build rockets, get us to space. Similarly, I don't know that actually being involved in the running of the government is the best use of Elon Musk's time. But he helped get Donald Trump elected. I don't buy they have some falling out kind of thing. I think Donald Trump and Elon Musk have a great deal of actual affection and respect for each other. They understand each other. And I don't think Elon Musk is going to be really permanently sidelined, though the Doge thing is ending. I think he will continue to be an important voice in Republican politics. I think the platform X is like the most important conservative media platform right now, and that's his platform. So he's going to continue to be important, but if he doesn't feel motivated to give a lot of money, he will be in good standing with other folks, especially on the right. The Koch brothers used to give a lot of money to Republicans. They decided it wasn't worth the bang for their buck. Peter Thiel was, backed Trump hugely in 2016 and then sat out 2020, and I don't recall how involved he was this time. You know, wealthy people who have succeeded in the private sector and the tech sector are used to investing money and having a payoff. And if it doesn't pay off, then they invest in something else. Politics is, you know, murky and and you don't have clear outcomes that correspond with what you want. You have partial victories that are then undone. So I think these people who want unparalleled success and have experienced unparalleled success, I think they just think it's not a great use of their time, money, and there's not good bets.
And I think Elon Musk realized the way that D.C. and Washington politics works. I don't think that he wanted to be on this micro level that he was in, like every day showing his face at all these public briefings and getting criticized, ridiculed constantly, even to the point that his conservative ex looked a little bit critical of him. He didn't love that. I think he wants to be involved on a way higher level, which is why he's probably joining this meeting today with the South African president. I think he wants to have dialogue with and be aligned with a president, which is why people want two things, money and power. And so Trump aligns him to power and maybe getting some things passed that are in favor of him creating his autonomous vehicles and other things that he has in mind. But I understand that he was in way over his head with thinking that he can just slash his big goal by the end of this year or early next year. I don't think that that benefited anybody in a really good way. And I think people are still reeling from these decisions that, like you said, will probably get litigated to no end until the next president comes into office. And then some of these programs will come right back. But the only problem for me is that with specific programs like USAID, people can actually die with these decisions, as opposed to people being out of work in the U.S. and maybe being extremely uncomfortable. People abroad we're seeing losing their lives because of his choices that he kind of disregarded as just like a money thing.
But more people can always, and not to bring this up again, we can go, but you know, I bought a cup of coffee this morning. That could have been a mosquito net instead. There's always more everyone could have given to say, you know what, do you know what I mean?
No, we're going to go have a kumbaya and take you to empathy school after this.
All right. Next up on Rising, the drama between Hunter Biden and Jake Tapper is heating up. My favorite subject. Stay tuned.